3 would be nice. Yeah, it's always difficult. I've played in a lot of these competitions before, and it's always tough to fly in guys all around the world and try and get the gel of the players together as fast as you can. And often when you get that right, those teams go on to win tournaments. But in South Africa, it seems like that gel happens so much quicker because we've got a lot of the local players. Our first season, we tried to get a lot of local players. Actually, we stole them from Robbie down in P or Quebec. A lot of the players were born in that area and played in that area, or had some kind of association with the venue or the team itself. And I felt like that helped us go on to get into the final, and then we had a good day and we won the final. So, you know, we try and do that again, and if we can get that working in our way, and we've got some new players and exciting players, and if we can get them to gel fast and play their best cricket and relaxed cricket, we can make it 3 in a row.
That's your name, Justin?
As a question to Jonathan Trott, welcome back to Cape Town, Jonathan. Just your thoughts on being back in South African domestic cricket again, and just how today went and the players that you bought for Pretoria Capitals.
Obviously very excited. Coming back to Cape Town, auctioning in Cape Town, but also being in Pretoria, having played there as a youngster and played internationally as well. It's a fantastic venue, and I think the squad that we've got suits playing in Pretoria, but also all around the country. So we're very excited. But again, you know, that's just players on paper. We've got to get the players playing really well, and the cohesion of the side and getting the right combinations, which is key to going far in competitions. So excited, but obviously a lot of work ahead.
Robbie, this one for you. Riza, you seem dead set on getting him and paying as much as you needed to pay, but just talk us through the decision bringing him into your team.
Yeah, I think all our 3 signings was just about getting a little bit of experience into the group, guys with a bit of leadership ability, so Riza certainly adds that. We feel he's playing pretty well at the moment, getting some runs behind him, and we feel he's not far from playing his best cricket, so we know he likes Cape Town, he likes Newlands. It's a city that he enjoys playing cricket in, so we just felt it was a perfect fit for where we wanted to go with the squad.
Richard, Shamsi has done well for the Royals for the last few years, fan favourite and taking a lot of wickets. There must have been a temptation to retain him, so what was the factors that play as to not retaining him and leaving him?
Yeah, thanks. Shamo's obviously done well for the Royals and has a decent record at par. I think more the thought process was more around Nava Peter and his sort of upside. So looking at building a sort of core around our younger players like Nava, Luandre Pretorius, Quinn Mapaka. So yeah, it was more around that, and obviously getting Khalim as the trade gives us a nice balance to the team. With some of our more experienced players like Joe Root and a couple of the overseas players. So it was more around the sort of upside of the younger players there.
Richard, just you spoke about the younger players, but you signed a 38-year-old in Dennis Kartik. Just how much experience you hope to get out of someone that's played over 10 years in the IPL?
Yeah, so I think with the younger players, you obviously have to get the right mix, and having somebody like Dinesh does that for us. I think it's a big coup for the league as well, having the quality of Dinesh playing in par. So yeah, it's more around that whole balance of getting the experience with the youth, and I think for somebody like Luandre Pretorius, who's a keeper batter, you know, working with Dinesh for 5-6 weeks can only benefit South African cricket in the long run.
Robbie, I just want to ask you about Tristan Rose. I mean, he had a very good under-19 tournament. What made you go so quickly for him, obviously, and choosing him as your rookie?
I think fast bowlers are rare to find. So when you find one at that age, you try and pick them up. The man on my right here would know everything about that. So we decided to go for him and invest in him, and we feel he's got a bright prospect. He's a bright prospect, and he's been accelerated within the South African system playing for the A side, and we feel he's going to be given opportunities to play higher level cricket within our structures. So his development will be pretty quick, we think, and hopefully in not too distant future he can be a finished product like the man on my right.
It's a question for Alan. Alan, you've walked the longest road in the game from all the people sitting up there. I'm not trying to say you're old. If I had to say to you, if to your younger self in 1991 when you were charging in India, that in several years from now there'd be all these tournaments around the world and players would be making comparatively silly amounts of money, and one of these tournaments would be in South Africa, what would you say to me?
Yeah, clearly missed out. I've been a couch supporter. I was a Royal for 2 years, so I can't really speak for with any experience of what it's like to be in this league. But I said to Graham after the first edition at Boland Park, I said this is one of the proudest days to be a South African, and seeing what is happening here and seeing the stadiums this full makes you incredibly proud to support and what it does for young kids. And that's the first thing I noticed, how many young people came through those gates, passionate about the Royals, passionate about Durban Super Giants. So to be involved in this now, and after after the next edition, it just felt it got bigger quickly, and seeing the stadiums as packed and passionate about their franchises is something fantastic. And now to be a part of it, to be part of the Super Giants is it's just a wonderful feeling. And also joining up with two ex teammates and Jonty and Lance will be an even bigger thing. So yeah, look, I'm extremely privileged to be part of it, and I look forward to what lies ahead come January.
Albie, just one for you. How would you recap the makeup of your squad with the auction and just overall your makeup of your squad?
Yeah, I think most of our biggest signings was done before. With Johnny Bairstow and Devon Conway joining, I sort of had to make brave or tough decisions, whatever you want to call it, about their international careers. And the Super Kings franchise sort of saw that opportunity and gave them a home here. So I'm sure they'll maybe use them in some of the other tournaments as well. But to have the quality of those international players in our top order, really makes us a strong team. And to add Jones and Libba today was good for us, especially at base price. I thought especially Jones will go for a little bit more, so we're happy with those two guys. They're guys with SA20 experience, so that was important for us, so that they're not new to what's happening out there. So I think a question earlier to Richard as well with Shams, he's joined us as well. So I really feel all round, we've got a team that can pick 11 that can play in most conditions.
Sorry,
Ollie, just to you obviously were all round in the CSA camp, and that's quite a big focus area. Is that the reason we're getting Liver, Jones today? Is that in fact what they offer you, not bigger?
Not really. I think that's the areas we felt we needed backup, especially a left-hander, middle or a batsman, local, and an all-rounder for David Wiese. He's also a little bit older, so you never know when he's going to pop a hamstring. So get back up there.
Okay, at the front, can you just get the last few questions, please? Khalid and then at the front.
Dale, this one's for you. We obviously seeing a lot of young players getting signed, and obviously a lot of fast bowlers like Robbie just mentioned about Tristan Lewis, etc. And we had Marco Jansen. Is there any advice you can give these youngsters, because there's so many leagues around the world, so much cricket being played, and now they can manage their workloads and prevent from breaking down, with injuries, etc.
Well, how long is your? How long you got? No, I think I was chatting to somebody about earlier about some of the young players and just the management going forward. I think one of the most important things that they can potentially do is just get someone who manages them well and helps them make the right decisions when they're young. There are so many leagues that are happening in the world right now, and there's so much money to be thrown at them that they don't need to make it in the next 2 years. They've got a career ahead of them that can go all the way until they're 35, 36, who knows, even 40. So it's not to be thrown by what could be offered to you now. So good management on their side is extremely important, and I think that's something that the Sunrisers Eastern Cape have done fairly well, to be honest with you. There's some guys that have come in that were not even around, have gone on to play for South Africa. It's part of what we are pretty proud of, is to take guys that no one kind of recognized and have now gone on to play for the Proteas, pushed in county circuits like Warrell and all these kind of guys. So that's important for us, that if we do get some youngsters, it's just to chat to them over the season, especially these rookies, to introduce them to the hectic life of what an international player is gonna receive over his career, but not to chase it. He's got all his career to earn, so I think management is very important.
Sure, we'll take the last two over there in Westry.
Thank you. Sorry, Alan, I would like to ask you a question. I'd just like to know, can you talk us how, through the process on how you choose who you want to sign? Obviously, it's not just signing the big names, but there's a whole process behind it. Do you look at talent? Do you study it? What is the conversations around who you want to pick, and the whole team behind it?
Well, I can tell you that the people to my right and left, they probably studied it better than I did. So I was asked to fill in for Lance. And yes, there are very, very carefully thought out strategies on who you want and when the right time is to get your nose in front. You know, we were sitting around the table this evening, and we were looking at, you know, how we're going to get Gleeson. You know, everyone's talking about Gleeson. I've seen him bowl in the UK. He's very good at what he does in this format at the game. We lost out, and we quickly had to go again. Shall we go for Josh Little? Shall we go for Jamal Joseph? So eventually it came down to the youngster. So for us it was easy because we needed two, and overseas. Fast bowler, like Robbie said, you know, they like hen's teeth. You've got to be enough. You've got to have enough in your arsenal. So, but he's a very exciting youngster. I saw him a couple of years ago when he won a test match off the back of his own bowling against Australia, and he was just fantastic. So to work with him, he's a good kid. He's a bit of a sponge as well, so that tells you where he is. And to see him in this league is so good. So, but yeah, look, my job was easy today, to pitch up and sit still. So, but yeah, I'm sure that these guys would tell you a lot more. That it was a mini auction today, so it wasn't the full-on thing. But yeah, there's a lot of thinking and strategy that goes into it.
Nastri and then Sonia to first.
Jonathan, you obviously coach Afghanistan. There's one or two of them in the league. Just Gurbaz and Mujib, I think. Just and Azmat. Yeah. Just can you talk to us about how they've developed? You know, just recently over the last couple of years, and what are they going to bring to the league?
I think franchise cricket has a lot to do with the development of the as a side with Afghanistan. I think we saw in the last IPL, I think it was 9 or 10 players there. We've seen another spinner come through from KKR and now playing for Afghanistan as well, who's unfortunately not in this league. But I think what happens is franchises get the talented players and they make sure they're exposed to world-class coaches, world-class players, and they learn quickly. As Alan just alluded to, there's a lot of sponges and taking in that information. So I'm excited to have Gurbaz on our side, opening the batting up at the top. I think he's a very talented player, and all the Afghan players in this league are very, very talented. We've seen them, you know, develop over the last years. I've been privileged enough to be able to coach them and see them as a side grow. But I think not only that, competitions like this benefit world cricket as well. Not only South African young players will come here and grow and get better. We saw South Africa in the final of the T20 World Cup, but also the other young players will come here and go back to their nations. And my hope is we've got Will Jackson and Liam Livingston. They'll go off and play for England and be improved players or be in good form when they go and play for their nations. So I think that's the sort of mindset I certainly will have with my side and getting everybody playing well, and that will benefit this league certainly, because players talk and they'll say, well, go and play in the SA20, that's where you're going to develop, and that's the best league to be part of. I think that's certainly our goal. I can't speak for everybody, but you know, very excited with the players we have.
Probably just finally, it's the third season. Is this third unlucky for MIK?
We'll have to wait and see. At least we were first in the rookie pick today. We'll take that for now.
Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good evening.